Book Interrupted Chronicles capture some of our favorite and funniest moments together from before we were all in the club. If you would like to know who felt clothing was optional at the theme park, or which member flipped the script on her birthday surprise, go to www.bookinterrupted.com/unpublished to start your free trial to Unpublished, where our chronicles and inklings live. Trust us, you won't regret it.
Parental guidance is recommended because this episode has mature topics and strong language. Here are some moments you can look forward to during this episode of Book Interrupted.
And a giant surge in estrogen.
Is that on the advertisements, Kim?
Yeah, need estrogen? We've got you covered.
Because the person sitting next to me ate all our glue.
It's my poorly fitted merkin.
Poorly fitted.
I'm like, what? Someone's being victimized? I'm like all in. I'm watching it.
It's almost true, which is why it's so funny and it's sad.
And that's why having magnets in my babies is so dangerous because they don't know.
A whole fan episode about Merkin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So glad we closed on that.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Mind, body, and soul. Information is the goal. Try to learn something new without being distracted. Mind, body, and soul. Information is the goal. Try to learn something new without being disrupted. Mind, body, and soul. Inspiration is the goal. And we're gonna talk it out on Book Interrupted.
Welcome to Book Interrupted, a book club for busy people to connect and one that celebrates life's interruptions. If you'd like to join along, this book cycles from January 3rd to February 13th. It's Leah's book pick, and we're reading What Happened to You by Dr. Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. Our earliest experiences shape our lives far down the road, and What Happened to You provides powerful scientific and emotional insights into the behavioral patterns so many of us struggle to understand. This book is going to change the way you see your life. Let's listen in to this episode's group discussion. Welcome to the fan and follow-up episode for What Happened to You. This is the episode where we look at what the fans thought and any follow-up from the What Happened to You book cycle.
And away we go.
Yep.
And we have no feedback.
So do we want to start with Cyndi Lauper?
Do you want to start with Cyndi Lauper?
Maybe we should just do that.
Follow-up was that my intention was to listen this whole morning while doing my setup all alone, doing wonderful alone things.
Right.
But then the puking and the diarrhea began at 5:45 this morning.
Not your puking and diarrhea.
Not mine, my child's. So I woke up to being thrown up on because we had a girls' night movie pizza party last night. And I think we've discovered that she is allergic to cheese. This happened last weekend. She went for a sleepover at Kara's house and they had a pizza party, as one does when having slumber parties. And we couldn't figure out why the puking and pooing started. So now we know.
Now we know.
Well, I assume it's cheese. That's the most obvious culprit. But I suppose it could be, what, tomato sauce?
Pepperoni.
A pep? But she likes salami. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Who doesn't?
so
Cheese.
I failed. That was like literally, I have my list and Cyndi Lauper is on it.
During the episode, I think it was Kim and Meredith put a challenge to Leah. Leah said she didn't like Cyndi Lauper, and they said that they loved
I don't
Cyndi
know.
Lauper. And so
Maybe I
they
do.
said to her to listen to the whole album. So I guess that didn't happen.
Right, so you sent
So
out a Marco
it was an
Polo
epic fail.
asking if Leah had watched it. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot
did
about
you?
that. So yesterday I started listening to it and Dan comes in, he's like, oh, what you doing? I was like, oh, I'm listening to She's So Unusual. He's like, every song on this is just solid. He's like, it's a great album. Everything is good. I was like, I know, Cyndi Lauper's so good. So we started talking about how great she
right.
was. And I did listen to the whole album. I was like, this is like fantastic.
All right. I got to listen.
I mean, obviously Girls Just Want to Have Fun is overplayed.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, I think that I'm skewed by that song. And I do like Time After Time.
Time After Time isn't even on it, or is it?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh no, I was thinking of True Colors.
Oh, so is there a specific album I should be listening
She's
to?
So Unusual is the album.
When you listen to the album, She's So Unusual, try to guess which song was written by Prince.
Oh, I didn't know Prince wrote one of the songs.
It's good to guess, to think about ahead of time.
I think
All right.
Prince writes a lot of music for people, as does
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera.
He does, huh?
Mhm.
I didn't know that about Christina Aguilera.
Apparently, Lady Gaga wrote a lot of Britney's work when Britney was like back in the day.
Interesting.
I just saw, I don't even know what they're called because I'm old now, but it's like videos that are in a line on my Facebook stream, and they might be TikToks, but I don't think that they are, but they're, usually under 30 seconds long. And one of them is, and it's usually people being like, how did we not know? And then they're like also watching a video and like reacting to it. And in some Britney song, she's like sitting on the ground and there's two girls standing beside her, like leaning against a car. And she's like, blah, 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 singing. And the woman's like, how did nobody notice that girl's scratching her crotch right beside Britney's face? And it's true. She's got her hands all up in there.
Ay.
I actually indulged in the Britney Spears documentary on Netflix.
Yeah,
Check it out.
I watched there was a couple at the same
There
time.
was two, yeah.
Yeah, I watched Framing Britney Spears. Is the Netflix
don't think I watched
the
that one.
Netflix doc
Oh, what
is
was-
not that, right?
No, I don't believe it is.
I'm gonna watch it then too. No, indulge
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah, I just found
'Cause
it
I'm
fascinating. I
interested.
didn't want to give into it. And then I did.
No, I
just
think the whole
wanted to
thing's kind
know.
of fascinating.
It is.
It sounds
I
really
watched
sad.
that pink one. The pink one on Amazon Prime.
Ooh, would you recommend?
Yes, I really like it. Oh, I love pink though.
Yeah, I think this one's more, Sarah, like how Britney was held captive or something, or held
Through the conservatorship. How do you pronounce it?
You did it.
Conservatorship.
Conservatorship.
Yeah.
Conservatorship.
Yeah.
Ship. So like her, like how she wasn't allowed to, access her money or make
She
her
had
own
like no
decisions, really.
self-efficacy
It-
or
yeah.
autonomy. I just
There you
get
go.
drawn to things that have trauma in them. Honestly, there's something wrong with me. Like if I get wind of, I'm like, what? Someone's being victimized? I'm like all in.
I'm watching it.
I am.
That's
I'm
great.
watching it.
Do
Can't
you
wait to see
watch the Margaret Atwood? Oh,
No, not the Handmaid's Tale. I
Clicking.
can't.
because that's victimization. One of what? Like it's intense. I can't watch it.
It's too bothersome. Ever since I read the book,
Shit, I'm tweeting
it
again.
haunts me.
What a clicker.
They get a good.
Yeah,
Gotta switch your
there you go. I'm putting it over there.
Okay.
And it's calling for me.
Yeah. She's just gonna be looking over there for the whole video.
I know.
It's a happy face. It's a happy face, but I need to change it to a sad face.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, little fella. I already feel nervous.
But no, you're making me want to. I'm like, now all of a sudden it hadn't entered my mind that I want to
Would
like
do my
play
hands.
with something and fidget,
Oh.
and now I'm like, but I do.
Yeah.
We got to get you a fidget something. There's millions of them. I got Freddie a Advent fidget calendar.
Nice.
So every day there was a new trinket to mess with.
That's fun.
Yeah. It was really
yeah, I
just a
could.
calendar of garbage.
Yeah. Those things often are, but that's
So
okay.
we will not be approaching them as a
25
sponsor.
days of garbage. Yeah.
20 days of garbage.
We'll go to Facebook. So, Kara, you initiated the meet the members of Book Interrupted. So it was like meet Meredith, meet Kara, like meet Lindsay, blah, blah, blah. So people commented on those quite a bit, actually. One of the comments for meet Meredith was, I'll call you next time I have IKEA furniture to assemble, because you said that's one of your like hidden talents.
I love putting together IKEA
Oh
furniture.
man, I hate it so much.
They had the Canada Winter Games up here one year, and our company donated like a whole bunch of bunk beds for the athletes. And so we had, I don't know how many bunk beds there was. So they're like, come and volunteer and put together these beds. So Dan and I went, and we brought our own tools and stuff, because like, you don't want to use if you're going to do it fast. And I think in the first one it took us an hour and a half, but then we got it down to like 43 minutes, like flat. And we're just like, let's go. And we like put together so many bunk beds. We brought music. We brought like our little like shop speaker with our iPod. I still have an iPod Touch, like first gen, I think. Yeah, we just like put the music on and put together like all these bunk beds. It was great. So people came in, they're like, yeah, we just put together our first one. We had these extra pieces. And we're like, no, there's no extra pieces.
Fail.
You missed something. Let's go take a look.
Were you in total bliss? Were you like,
It was great. It was great.
You're like a bunk bed pit crew.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. Had power tools too. It was good. That was great.
Another thing for Meredith, someone else just commented from Instagram on your Meet Meredith and put they're obsessed with this. I don't know, maybe
I don't know what that
obsessed
means.
with you.
With Meredith?
What you put there.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, or obsessed with Meredith. So you got to say
Maybe it was my haircut.
nice.
Someone else put a
I
heart.
put my new haircut in there.
You did. Oh, maybe that's what they're obsessed with. They're like, I'm obsessed with this. Some of the other Meet people, I got a smiley face with hearts on mine.
Aw.
How I
And
feel about
someone
you.
wrote on Leah's. Thanks. And Leah got Leah is the best, which I
she did.
agree with.
Good. That's what I'm going for. I'm
Number
trying
one.
to set up a time lapse of us podcasting for Instagram, hence all the movement.
Cool.
Whoa.
This is what happens when we
As
take
long
away
as
her
y'all are
pens.
okay with that. Yes,
They may-
this is what happens when you take away my pens. Exactly.
Does anybody
Get
feel
real
like
productive.
A new
when I do the time lapse, I'm like, I don't like people watching me work. So I did one a long time ago and I was like, I can't send it. I finally did send it to Sarah. Does anybody else feel that way? They don't like people watching them work? I did more than one time lapse. I've only sent her one.
You should buy a piece of IKEA furniture and do a time lapse of putting together the furniture.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
I could have really
great.
used you,
Yes.
Mayor. Like I've been putting
That'd be
together IKEA
great.
furniture for a month.
Oh yeah, for the studio?
I still have 2 things left to do. I
might
don't
just
care.
have to, if you wait till summer, I'll put it together when I visit.
I might have to. I couldn't do it anymore. I was just like, enough is enough. I need an IKEA break. But it's just
Yeah.
like really hard. I try and find most things on Marketplace, but it's really just hard to find. You can't
perfect
beat those
thing.
prices sometimes for organizational shit.
Yeah.
You know, Chad A, who won the Kindle on our Kindle contest, our giveaway, he let us know that he was giving the Kindle to his mom as a birthday gift.
Spoiler alert, Mrs. A. Hopefully it's not supposed to be a surprise and her birthday hasn't come yet.
Yeah, he told us that.
We know what you're
December,
getting for
so I
your
hope not.
birthday.
Well, hopefully not, but he said I could share, so I'm getting
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
gave permission. I was like, can I share with the on the podcast?
Can I share with the world, Chad?
That's nice.
That's so nice.
This interruption is brought to you by Unpublished. Do you want to know more about the members in Book Interrupted? Go behind the scenes? Visit our website at www.bookinterrupted.com.
Book interrupted.
I was listening to the radio today and I was completely shocked and awed. The Ontario government, where I live, is now partnering with a pharmacy company, a chain in Ontario, in Canada, that is offering free menstrual products for students in high schools across Ontario. And I hear this is done in other provinces as well. And I just think what an amazing first step. I mean, we talked about it with Kirsten Karchmer and Seeing Red and how the period inequality and how people who can't afford it, they're really struggling. And I'm just, what an amazing that this is now a conversation that we're having in the media and that people are talking about it more. And great. So let's continue to normalize it. Let's continue to normalize periods, and let's continue to normalize things that happen in female bodies that are completely normal, so that, you know, women don't have to feel ashamed of these things. And if they're there, great. Then a woman who's having their menstruation, they have their period, they can go in and they can get that free product, and they don't have to feel nervous or ashamed because it's just normal. So yay. Amazing.
Book interrupted.
Oh, here's a good one. So, you know, on YouTube, someone commented on Seeing Red episode 1, periods, menopause, boobs, and feminine health. They wrote, Great videos, some really interesting information. Amazing to see other inspiring women on here sharing their knowledge and experiences. It's very appreciated. Completely agree that we need to talk about these things more. Hope you enjoy my content too. She started a series on her channel about her crazy menopause experience because she started her period again at 50.
Oh.
Again?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
no.
Crazy,
I would
right?
like to tune in and check this lady out.
And what's
Yeah.
her
That's
Guys are
Kara's
like-
like anything that might be traumatic.
Quite literally.
They came back
Yes.
with it. Tell me more.
I was like, I want to hear about your pain.
It's crazy.
You have struggles? What?
In the show notes,
Oh.
if people want to see, and it's Live Fit Freedom is her channel.
Okay.
And we can put in the show notes. And I sent it in the link to all you guys.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's pretty cool,
Oh,
right?
that's so nice that
So-
she's supporting us, and that hopefully we can support her as well. And man, we're all getting to that menopause thing, so I sure hope I don't finish my period and restart it at 50. Oh my goodness.
Just like you wouldn't be prepared, right? Like it'd suck to be like out and about and be like, what now? I have to deal with this?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would be like relieved, right? Oh, okay, fine, it's over. Right. And then it comes back
Yeah.
and you're like, wait a minute. Nobody said this was an option.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
Joke?
I think the menopause manifesto does say it's an option.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, it's important to read up then.
Really?
I've
I
only
feel-
started it though, but I want to look. It's a real bookmark.
Can you hold up the cover so that we can see?
That's on topic.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All
The
into
graphic
it.
is a bullhorn. I thought it was a tampon.
That's a bullhorn? Oh yeah, I thought that was a tampon for sure. I was like, what am I
Oh.
looking at? It's like a tampon
Same.
with one arm.
It says own your health with facts and feminism. I was thinking, because I got this for Sarah too to read. Would you guys want to do like a show where you guys send us questions and then as we read it, we find the answers and then we do like a question and answer or
Yeah.
answer your questions about menopause if we can remember the book. But if you send me questions ahead of time, then as I read it, I can find the answers.
Make
Would
notes.
you guys
Yeah.
want to do that?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'll help you
Sure.
too, Mare.
That's fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I need to read it, I think, because my last 2 migraines have lasted 2 days.
Hey.
Oh man.
Yeah, and they're definitely
I don't like that.
hormonal based, but they're
Yeah.
brutal. Like to the point where no medication's working and my eyes are just like literally closing.
Mm.
Like, At
Yeah.
one point, I just like yelled at my husband. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do dinner. I have to go to bed immediately. And he's like, what? And my eyes are like slowly closing.
Oh my God.
I need to at least get to something soft before my eyes close.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. You like dive for your bed just as the last close.
I went to bed with my clothes on and everything. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And he's like, okay. That I didn't. I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, Sarah.
I need to read that because the solutions I was doing before with Kristen Kirchmeier that really worked is not cutting it anymore. So they're nothing for this one.
Needs to come with a contraption to hold your eyes open.
Like in a Clockwork
Just
Orange?
toothpicks. I'll just put
Do they like peel his eyes?
It's the estrogen drop right before your period that's causing the migraine. Because I used to get it too before I started the hormone replacement.
It's 1 week before my period.
Yeah. So you need to somehow get your estrogen levels up in whatever natural way you can that week.
So a lot of soy.
Because I even double up on my estrogen dose that week. So that now I don't get any migraines, period, ever. I haven't had a migraine in forever just because I just know the pattern. It sounds like the rest of the month your estrogen or your just levels are fine. It's just that. So I
1
guess
week
just look
prior.
up foods that really, soy, a lot of soy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'll try. There's things everywhere in every part of the world that equal the same thing. So I just have to figure out what it is here. Like when she was like spirulina and I did moringa, that worked really great. So I just have to find something that will raise my estrogen. Anyway, I'm going to read that book too, I think.
Okay.
Oh, did I tell you guys that Kirsten's coming on the show? For
Oh yeah, when is that again?
Mm-hmm.
She's coming on one of the off the shelves. I think it's in
Fun.
March or April.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exciting.
This book is super duper helpful. And until we narrow down what foods contain rich sources of estrogen, you could 1 week prior significantly reduce any meat, because meat is connected in with estrogen levels.
Sorry, meat makes your estrogen levels go up?
Consuming meat impacts estrogen levels.
Up or
So
down,
at the
though?
very least,
In up or down though?
I don't remember. I'd have to read that
Yeah, because
paragraph.
it's
That's a
important.
problem.
Maybe all meat.
Oh,
all
right,
meat or
because
no meat?
We want her to get a estrogen boost.
a boost.
So we need to know if meat gives it or not, or takes it away.
What
Taketh
book?
away.
What's the book, Kara, that you're reading
Oh.
or looking at? Can you say it
The
so we can
Hormone
people can hear
The
it?
Reset
Hormone
Diet.
Reset Diet by Sarah Gottfried or Gottfried, MD. I'm sorry. I'm butchering
I'm
the name.
so bad at pronouncing names too. I'm just like, I don't want to say this out loud. 'cause I know it's wrong.
Gracious.
And I don't want to insult the people, right? Like, although ironically, people mispronounce my name all the time and it doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Don't forget then, because that's probably the standard.
Right.
People are like, whatever, I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'll just spell it for you. People are like, what's your last name? And like anytime
Yeah, and
you
you're
somewhere
like-
they need my last name, I don't even tell them. I just start spelling it. Like, this is just type it in.
Oh,
And yeah, and good luck
They're like,
pronouncing this.
M? I'm like, no, N, as in November. Like, I have to give the whole
no.
C as in Charlie.
Oh God.
Anyway, so if I'm supposed to have meat, I'll have more meat. If I'm supposed to have less meat, I will eat less meat, Kara. So you're saying you think I should eat less meat, but you're not sure.
He doesn't know.
So I'm just double checking because you know me with retaining facts. It's it's not
There is
exactly
A fact
100%.
in there somewhere. We don't know which one.
While Kara's looking, can we talk a
Yes.
bit about our new features on our blog? Because we haven't talked about those yet. So we've decided, so
Yes.
last season we did the blog where we did personal questions and we answered some fun, interesting questions that all of us did. So each person was 1 day of the book interrupted. Well, this season we've decided to do something a bit different. So we're doing different things on each day. So on Mondays, we're doing Manuscript Mondays, and that's where each of us during different weeks will recommend a book or talk about a book. Maybe it's a book we hate, or maybe it's a book we love. So
Don't
if you're
read
looking
this.
for,
Don't read this book.
oh, maybe. But so, if you're interested in looking for different book ideas, then come on the blog on Mondays. And then Tuesdays is
Topic Tuesdays.
And Meredith, what happens on Topic Tuesdays?
Well, usually when I read our books in the book cycle, I write down stuff that I like or I find interesting. So it's quotes from the books that we're currently doing. Although it's possible I'll put a quote from a different book. I don't know. I just can't
Yeah.
help myself. I got a little notebook, wrote my quotes in. And
Great.
now I will share it with whoever wants to read it on the internet.
The Topic Tuesdays have been retweeted actually quite a bit. People like the Topic Tuesdays.
Excellent. Great. Wednesdays is Word Wednesdays. I'm a writer, so I love definitions and interesting different words that I've never heard of. So I'm putting up, and maybe someone else, I think Meredith had a word here and there of words and definitions that you might not know. So I think we just put up one about arenaceous, and my sentence was Meredith is looking very arenaceous today, which was when her hair was crazy because she looked like arenaceous means looks like a hedgehog. So I thought that was fun. And then Thursdays, Kara or Sarah, what is Thursdays?
Thought Thursdays?
Thought.
Yes.
Thursdays, yeah.
And what
Deep
happens?
thoughts.
So
So
Kara, what
much.
happens?
So
So
much,
much.
Lindsay. So much happens on those Thursdays. It is a combination of Sarah finding and sharing an interesting quote, or just random thoughts, Kara's curiosities, things that I find interesting.
Cool. Fridays is Fact Fridays, and we are Facts Fridays because we have a picture of a fax machine because we're all old and know what that is. So really interesting facts that you might not have heard of. So come to the blog on Fridays. And then Saturdays, Kim, what happens on Saturdays?
It's called Silly Saturdays, so anything could happen.
Anything that might make you laugh.
Anything.
Looking for a laugh? Silly Saturdays.
Silly Saturdays is where it's at.
And then Sundays is we're continuing on. So Meredith's still doing Down the Rabbit Hole, where she really goes deep into some of the topics of the books. I have my top 10 every book cycle of the top 10 ways that the book has impacted or interrupted our lives. And then there'll also be some other interesting things, some resources, some whatever else we want to add in on Sundays.
Yeah, artwork.
Oh, and right. Sorry, Leah. Yes. Then Leah does artists and artwork for each of the book cycles, which is really awesome. They look lovely. So anyways, you can find the blog.
And something I've added as well is we're doing, because we do a playlist for every book cycle. Each member is going to explain why they picked one of the songs on the playlist. So
yes.
Yeah. What's on your playlist?
So you can find our blog at
www.bookinterrupted.com/blog.
Whoa, good job.
And Sarah, I reread the beginning of the meat chapter on estrogen. So for myself, I would want to observe meatless time because I don't want my estrogen to spike. I'm good with estrogen, but for you, it might be a fun experiment to try increasing your meat consumption because it will boost your estrogen. It's going to impact your microbiome, which is what causes the spike in the estrogen.
I need to eat more meat.
Eat more meat.
I just have this vision of you just like eating like drumsticks with like a ham.
And do
You're
it.
not gonna eat a ham, but like just drumsticks and like chicken wings and just like
Go all
lots of
in.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Document it.
you should do a time lapse.
So there you go.
You're doing a time lapse with your other time lapse of Sarah eating meat.
World's biggest steak.
Yum.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a pub down the street from my house where they're challenging people to eat a 2-pound burger. It's more than that too. It's got toppings on it and like whatever, but it's like a whole head of lettuce and like 5 pounds of tomato. It's just crazy how much it is.
Like a loaf of
You
bread.
have to
for, like,
order
the
it 2 days in advance.
So they can get in all
So
the
they make sure that they have the
supplies.
ingredients. Yeah. And if you
Yeah,
eat it
that's
all, you get
great.
it for free. Otherwise it costs like $40.
And you also
it
get
is
a heart attack
Massive
involved with that.
stomach ache.
And a giant surge in estrogen.
Is that on the advertisements, Kim?
Yeah. Need estrogen? We've got you covered.
covered.
They need to put that.
They have to.
Got estrogen, right? Instead of got meat.
My goodness. The movie you're thinking of, Sarah's Uncle Buck.
Yeah, Uncle Buck.
It's not.
That's another sister moment. She's like, "What's
Wait,
that?"
it's
I'm
not
like,
Uncle Buck.
No,
Isn't
it's
it?
not.
Not Uncle Buck.
it's The Great
Giant
Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors.
The Great
Outdoors.
Outdoors.
Uncle
Meredith,
Buck is
go
where he
up.
makes the
I'm gonna-
giant pancakes
Pancake.
that he uses a
Oh,
shovel
yeah.
to flip, and that's
But
always
the
my
Great
favorite
Outdoors
part.
is the giant T-bone steak with all the
The gristle.
Grizzle.
He's like, "You have it."
That's great.
can't handle it.
I love it. He's like,
remember
"Yeah."
But Sarah loves that. She loves it.
Sarah
So
loves
flavorful.
grizzle.
Sarah
When I was
does.
a kid, I used to save the fat to the end because I liked it so much.
He loves it too. Yeah.
My kids like to
Yeah.
eat bones. Like if we have like drumsticks or whatever, they'll eat the ends off the bones. And
Remember
I'm
that
like,
neighbor we had that used to eat the brick wall?
What?
Yes.
Yes, and my mom would be like, she was like, "Don't eat the mortar. Don't eat our house." And the kid, I don't know, they like the graininess or something. And they
He would
don't
like
think-
pick it off.
Don't eat the mortar.
Is this for real?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's
poor
just like, you know,
kid?
when people eat glue and scabs.
was
His
that
was
Mark?
mortar.
That was Mark,
who eats
right?
scabs?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
I don't think we should say his name.
Well,
He should
nobody
remain.
knows his last name.
It was.
You
It
know,
was.
like,
It was Glenn or Blair. I can't remember which one.
I think it was Blair.
I don't know. I love that. Kids are so funny, right? But you know what? To their defense, I once tried to eat a rock. I was like, I wonder how long it would take me to eat this rock. Chew on it for weeks, and it turns out you can't. So I
I
gave
chew
up
on it for
eventually.
weeks.
I did. I
Maybe
used
you
to
just
eat-
didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing here.
That's what I-
I'll have
that's
my
our takeaway.
You gave up too
You're a
soon.
giver upper.
Still had my teeth.
Yeah.
I remember once in primary
Oh my
school, I was second grade and I was like super, super shy child. I remember once like I have a memory of the anxiety I had by putting up my hand because I couldn't finish the art project because the person sitting next to me ate all our glue. And eventually the teacher's like, yes. And I was like, I can't finish my project. And she was like, why? No, here you go. And I was like, they ate the glue. Like I was like,
Ate all the glue. Like you don't want to tell on them, but you're like, I don't have any more glue because this kid ate all of it.
I like that that's like the hierarchy of importance. Like the shyness was outdone by your needing to complete a task.
Pretty much.
Totally. I couldn't take this off my list. I'm now
like
willing
you
to
couldn't
say
take it off
something.
your list, so you were like, okay, shyness, it's our time. Goodbye.
Patsy.
But you spent the rest of the time before that watching the kid eat the glue.
Yes.
Because the shyness superseded the conflict aversion.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
You do you, kid. But just leave me enough glue to finish this project.
Gross.
Oh, I can't even handle your guys' stories. I can't handle it. The
Pardon me,
mortar. Oh, never did I ever imagine asking some
Good
child to stop eating mortar.
It could happen. But kids
Apparently,
roamed free
it did
more
happen.
then. Yeah, kids roamed free more. So like that kid could freely be like, should I eat this house? And the parents weren't watching them like a hawk.
Mm,
So they get to try and be like, yeah, that is pleasant. Going around eating everyone's house.
totally.
Wow.
And kids do tend to, like, I've done a lot of babysitting and I've got a lot of memories of children. They like to try things. It's like they're parrots, like as if their tongue is an important sensory organ that they want to get involved in their exploring their world. Like I know kids that have like eaten gravel, dirt, mothballs. Like there's some sort of compulsion of exploration that involves the mouth.
I think that's normal.
Apparently.
There's also a psychiatric
Back
condition.
Friday in the making, right there.
Is there?
Yeah,
Lindsay's
there's
got
Yeah,
a
people
name.
eat hair.
There's a psychiatric. My mom used to be a psychiatric nurse, and there's stories of some of her patients who have what I can't remember the name of it, but they would have like she'd find like full cigarette butts in their feces, and one of them ate her own leg, like chunks of her own leg and stuff. Yeah, like they eat everything, like it's a compulsion. So
I found in Max's puke this morning a piece of Lego. And I was like, "See, this is why we don't put Lego in our mouth." She's like, I didn't mean to. And I was like, yeah, that one, I choked on it probably almost. And then didn't tell the truth about it.
maybe that's why she's throwing up.
I was like, one of the little Lego characters, it was like the little, like a little head.
Yeah, he was
And
sacrificed.
she might have a compulsion. She puts everything in her mouth.
Yeah.
Everything.
Boogers.
Well,
Once my
especially
mom-
boogers.
Once my mom had to go through my poo because I ate a magnet from the
You didn't
school.
eat a magnet. You were going to ask a question. You put your hand up in class, and just as you went to ask, somebody threw a magnet and it went in your mouth. And you swallowed it. You didn't eat it. You would never do that. That was against the rules. And then
Good point, Mayor. Good point.
And then mom had to fork through your poo.
Why did she have to fork through the poo?
Because magnets are very dangerous if you ingest them. If it broke in half inside her digestive system, and then if two pieces found each other, then she could have to go into surgery because it would pinch the tissue and it won't come out. Magnets are soup. That's why having magnets
So
around
what happened
babies
when
is
she
really
didn't
bad.
find it ever?
She did find it. She forked through the poo until it came out, cleaned it, and gave it back to the teacher.
She gave it back to Mrs. Justice, I remember. So she's like,
She
"You
cleaned it well.
She had to go do it for me because I was like, I don't want to.
She's like, it's clean. Just give it back to the teacher. But that's why having magnets around babies is so dangerous because they don't know.
That's right.
I had no idea.
You have no idea?
I
It's
had
like
no
one of the big
idea.
scare parent things that are out there. I thought everyone knew.
God, no.
In fact, surrounded my child with magnets.
I took the
How does
opposite
this one
approach.
taste? Does this one taste good? Yeah, there you go. PSA, don't eat magnets.
You're welcome, fans. You're welcome.
This is a public service announcement. Like, like they have the things like you're not supposed to drink while you're pregnant, and like sometimes
Yeah.
you see that thing. It's like also like
Don't give
around
the
your babies and magnets. Just don't do it. We almost lost our dear friend Sarah.
All these things.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Oh,
more about
dear.
things that have happened to Sarah in our off the shelf
Poor
episode.
Sarah.
Off the shelf
Let's wait for
episode.
off the shelf. It's
Yeah.
easy. Yep, I'll tell you.
I can't wait.
Okay, Kara posted a whole bunch of like quotes just on Instagram and other places, like funny book quotes, and people really.
Oh yeah, I love those
Kara.
ones.
No, people love them.
They
And
crack
Schweitzer
me
did a
up.
couple too. So one that Kara put was there's two types of people: people who use bookmarks and monsters. And then there's a picture of people dog earing the page. And
Monsters.
one person said, "Shh, don't tell," and they put it like an @ so they tag somebody in it. They're like, "Don't tell. I'm sometimes a monster." And then, and then another person said, "Bookmark for me, but the bookmark is usually some sort of random item from around the house, like a receipt or an old photo, never an actual bookmark." And I think that's you, Mare, right? That's what you
Okay,
do.
so this is a random piece of nylon strapping that I used to fix a chair recently. I had leftovers. I have this is an old plane ticket.
Yeah, I have lots
Oh
of
my
plane ticket
goodness
ones.
gracious.
Where is this? What year is this from? Many moons ago. It's Dan's. It's not even my plane ticket.
Okay, hold on. Is this not normal that you use? This is all
Yeah.
of my books. Like
Piece of
that's
paper.
an actual
Serious?
bookmark, but
Yeah.
all of it, like it's like a piece of receipt that I rip off tiny little pieces of whatever I can find and throw it
Due
in.
date
Like
slip from the
No,
library.
barely
So they'll be like,
have.
"Do you want
Wait.
your due date slip?" I'm
But
like,
Lindsay,
"No, I
you're
need a
talking to a
bookmark."
monster. I will dog ear all my books.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Mm.
No, I don't do that. But it's
Oh.
whatever I can find, like a lotto ticket or whatever, just whatever I can
Hmm.
find, gets thrown in there. Whoa.
Yeah.
I
Is
use
that why you're
bookmarks.
doing it? So you can avoid becoming a monster? Or is it just your style?
is this
Oh, I don't like
monster
dog earing the
avoidance?
books.
I
think
go
it
either way.
ruins.
I don't really like dog
Sorry.
earing, but I do dog ear.
I think you're a monster.
I'm not committed enough to not dog ear.
I
I'm
also
not committed
think I'm
enough
a
to find a piece
monster.
of paper.
For me.
Here,
And-
that's a good one.
And here's Sarah weighing in with the perfect
What's that? Oh.
bookmark.
All of mine have real bookmarks. A good book is a wonderful journey.
That's why I was like, this one has an actual bookmark. But I don't know about this bookmark because I feel like it looks really nice, but it's very thick. I
Oh.
don't know how I feel
I
about
had
it.
a metal one once and it was the same kind of problem. I really like
metal ones are
I
worse.
think that your strap, that rainbow strap one should be a bookmark and you should cut up a whole bunch of straps and give it to us, me specifically.
You like it?
I want that. Yeah.
That's nice.
I
love it.
fixed. Okay, so can I show you where it came from?
Sure.
Just let me get off my chair for a second here. So my friend gave me this chair and it was kind of broken, and I was like, "Well, I need to get strapped." The strapping was broken, and so I just went and got this nylon strapping to be fun. I fixed the bottom. like this.
Amazing.
Fun.
So it's like a little
Oh.
secret. It's like I was like, "Kids, this would be nice to be our little secret that this chair is even more fun than you think it is." If you go underneath it, it's all
Yes.
rainbow. I was like, "Well,
Like that.
why do like black or brown when you can do rainbow?"
Of course. Totally. That's my motto.
Okay, here's another one. I have 10 books and you take 5. What do you have? That's right. You have a black eye and a broken hand.
Yeah, I like that one.
Someone wrote on that, I'll freely give out books except my ultimate faves. Those I want to keep because they give me joy just looking at them.
This is
And I
my
think that's-
problem.
Yeah, that's like Kim. Remember, you were like, I carry them in my backpack. Just I don't read them again. I just comfort.
No, see,
Oh,
my
wow.
problem, if they're an
Totally.
ultimate favorite, I actually lend those out. I'm like, "You have to read this book. I love this book." And they never don't
You
always come back.
lend I can't lend
then-
ultimate favorites.
And they don't come back. And like not like maliciously. I think people just forget to give them back.
It's just how
And
it
I don't like
goes.
writing in my books, but I started writing. Sometimes I'll write my name in my book. But like maybe this will come back one day.
Yeah, they'll
But,
remember.
I
Hey, wait a
lent
minute.
out- Anyway,
I give away all books,
it's a nice project.
especially the ones I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sentimental about books, I don't think, when I hear you guys talking about them.
But
No,
do you
I want to
reread?
share the info.
Yeah. Do you reread them though? Like I like having ones I'm going to read again.
I don't think she
Yeah,
does
me
if she gives them
too.
away.
That's
No, I
true.
don't. I almost never reread a book. Kids' books, though, I'm more sentimental about.
Huh.
Yeah, like remembering my favorite book as a kid and then reading it to my kid, I've discovered that I'm like, but no, I didn't keep any of those. Just Kara helped me remember some of them. So no, I don't think I'm sentimental about books, period. Now that I'm looking
You're
at
really
them.
good with sharing in general, though. You're very good.
Or I'm very bad at being sentimental. You could say, yeah, I give away a lot of stuff, I think.
Yeah.
I might be like you were talking about earlier, the consumer thing. Maybe I just like if I wanted it again, I just buy it again, which says something else. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's like
Mhm.
how you can talk yourself into it. Because also being sentimental, like too sentimental, can also not be the best either.
At
Because
all.
the feeling and the memory is not actually in the thing. So being able to
Well,
give the
yeah.
thing away is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
Eckhart Tolle
Yeah,
would say that you're very spiritual in your
Of
ability
course I
to
am.
share.
That is
I
exactly
know.
what I am. It reminds me of, I think there was a blog question that Sarah asked last season that was like, what is the one thing you'd run back into the house for or something like that? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Oh
what it
yeah,
reminded me of.
not run back into those, but yes, we were asked at one point like a very
What was it?
sentimental item.
You know, it's like you wouldn't, yeah, like if there was a fire, you'd go back. That's how I remember, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what to say.
It was something along those lines. What was
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
thing you would?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I'm very, I don't like to lend books. Like I there was at one point where I got rid of a bunch of books thinking, no, I can get rid of them. And then I always regretted it like I do with art. Like I always felt like anytime I saw it at a bookstore, I'm like, I used to have that book.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm weird about books where I'm not weird about other things, but I'm really weird about books. So now I never give my books away. I just get more books.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mm.
And there is nothing better than a real full bookshelf too.
I know. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
bookshelves with lots
I love
of
the way it
books.
looks.
Me too.
Yeah.
When I'm rich, I
and-
want
and-
my own library in
Yeah,
my
with the
home.
ladder.
That it's
Mostly I
like
want the
four,
ladder.
yeah, with like 4 walls of ceiling to like floor to ceiling bookshelves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Your house growing up, I remember that one room was kind of like a library. It was like floor to ceiling.
Yeah,
was.
that was
Just-
cool. That's
yeah.
all in my mom's bedroom now. Well, my mom's bedroom, my parents' bedroom.
But she treats it like
library
it's
bedroom.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Beauty and the Beast. That's what it reminds me of. You know, when she comes in, she's the
Yeah.
reader, and then she
Yeah.
comes in and she's like, "Oh
She's
my
like,
gosh,
"Aw."
there's this huge library of like 1 million books." So
Yeah. We watched that
just
last
like
night as
that.
our girls' night movie.
Maybe that's what made her barf.
That made her barf, apparently. We watched the live action one.
This
She's
movie's
developed a real
disgusting.
crush on who she deems Hermione, on Emma Watson. So it's
Oh,
like, there's another
really?
movie she's in, and she's like, Hermione, what is she doing with that beast? Ron Weasley. Where's Ron Weasley? She was so confused that I was like, the whole what's acting, what's not is real confusing.
Mm.
So yeah, and that gave her diarrhea. Oh Lord.
I just started rereading Pride and Prejudice.
Oh,
So,
Sarah, isn't that your favorite?
Oh, it sure is.
Sarah and I, she just watched the Pride and Prejudice BBC, and I am currently rewatching it. And I was telling Dan how like the proposal's the best, and he's like, "Is it the same as the book?" And I was like, "Well, let me see." And I went like this and found the proposal right away. I don't know how.
That's cool.
And I was reading it, and it's like it's not exactly the same. It's very similar. And then I started like reading the book just in sections, and I'm like laughing and smiling. He's like, he's like, 'cause I like to watch the BBC thing when I'm feeling blue. And I was reading the book. He's like, maybe you should read this book because it's obviously making you really happy. And I was like, that's totally right. So that's why I have a bookmark in here, because I just started reading it again last night. So good. So hilarious.
I'm reading Sense and Sensibility right now.
I have that one. I
Again.
have those two in beautiful book covers because I read them enough. So there's my Sense and Sensibility. Isn't it beautiful?
He's the best for self-care, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've never read any of them. Sorry, guys. It's really not my style. I've never wanted to. I keep being like, well, maybe one time I'll read it because I know you guys love it, but no.
Once
Never
you get
either.
into it, like
I'm with
the
you, Swites.
absurdity and the wit, and it's just like the characters are so absurd. It's so good.
I watched
So
all the
good.
movies. I don't know if I've watched the BBC movies.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Well, I'll watch those.
Pride and Prejudice, the other one, the short one. I was watching a clip from it just yesterday and I was like, they changed it too much. It's
Oh.
too changed. It's not the
All
book
right.
at all.
The
It's
book is
so
so
different from
clever,
the book.
right? It's so clever and witty and funny. And
Okay, maybe one day we'll see. On the
It's-
list that's like this long.
sometimes when you're reading
Yeah.
an old book, a book that's been written a long time ago, there's a bit of a getting into the language, right? Like getting into like how
Yeah,
the speaking
I can
goes
understand that.
takes a little bit of time, but like somebody picked this book called The Woman in White once for a book club. And some of the people couldn't get into the like old timey language, but once I got into it, like that's also a fantastic book. I don't remember who it's by.
I had that same experience. I can't remember what the book was, but the writing was so that if you read aloud, you would have the accent of whoever the character was. I can't remember if it was like British or like deep south or something, but like the words weren't actually words. So it's difficult to read because you're like, that's not a word. But when you read it aloud or said it in your head, it sounded like if someone in the deep south said it. Like it's hard for me to explain, but I think you
No, I
guys
know
get
what
what
you're
I
talking about.
right. And then so it was really difficult for me too. But then you just get in a little bit farther, and then it's like second nature, and it was really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's neat.
Yeah.
I think The Help is like that too.
I love The Help. And as far as movies go after, because that's always the treat at the end is to watch the movie when you know the two exist. The movie they didn't wreck it. They didn't wreck it. It was pretty good. It was a good little movie.
I think for the most part, books are always better than movies because they really
Sure,
have
of
to
course.
cut out things in the book that maybe you just love, but they have to cut them out because you can't keep all the different, like a book will bring in things like characters that maybe aren't really necessary to the main plot of the story. They just add to the book, but
Yeah.
they cut them out of the movie because they're like, we don't need this storyline because it's not really important to these main characters. Even though
Yeah.
like,
Did you guys ever read Girl on a Train? The Girl on the Train?
Yeah.
And then the movie, you're just
No.
like, what? Like, are these even the same thing? It's like poor Emily Blunt. She got tricked. She's been had. She would never do this willingly.
And also because you don't get the inner monologue as easily.
They're just like a
in a
totally,
movie.
yeah.
like how they redid Gone Girl. Like that's hard. It's hard to do that because it's all you're reading their inner thoughts and
Oh,
right?
see, I didn't even know there was a book of that. And the movie
Yeah.
seemed pretty good.
Well, the
Well,
book's
I
very
I find Neil
different.
Patrick Harris scary. Anyone? Doogie?
That's why he
In
was-
Gone Girl, yes.
Yeah, that's why he was
But
chosen.
in
because-
everything
Oh.
he's in, he really. Oof.
even in like
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, I haven't seen that show.
Ever?
Oh,
Like I
that's
know
a
that
good
his
show.
character is kind of like a
Slutty.
Legend.
yeah,
Dairy.
sleazy womanizer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's terrifying.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Isn't that,
Well, he just
isn't
plays
that
himself
Gone
as a
Girl?
drug addict,
Comeback.
doesn't he? He's just
Yeah.
himself as a drug
Yeah.
addict.
He's a musical theater star too.
Hmm.
Was he?
He's in all the things.
Hoodwig.
all.
What's the name of that?
Oh, the
Hoodwig?
Angry Inch.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what he was in. One of those, anyways. Or
Hedwig.
like that was one of the things. Hedwig.
Hedwig.
Hedwig,
Hedwig.
like
That
the
seems
owl?
seems redundant. You don't have to say head
Uh-huh.
and wig. I know where the wig goes.
Unless it's a what is it called?
Oh.
A merkin.
What's a merkin?
What the merkin?
Ooh. In movies, when they have to have, let's say, 70s style pubic hair, there's a wig for that.
And it's called a merkin.
No,
I think it's called a merkin.
no.
That's awesome.
Is it called a merkin, Lindsay?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called a merkin. Yeah.
I love
Get
that.
the fudge out of town.
I think that'd be a great name for a cat.
That's because pube wig doesn't sound as good.
Great name for a cat.
Merkin. And the most people would be like, oh, that's a funny name. And the people who were in the know would be like, what? Merkin?
Like it.
For your little pussycat?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you could, there are male merkins too.
Male merkins and female merkins?
Well, everybody needs pubic hair sometime.
Well, I'm sure that the male merkin has a hole in the middle of it.
yeah, there's a hole in the middle of it. I
Oh my
assume.
god. I have learned so much.
Actually,
It's
don't
like
know.
those My mom
Yeah.
always buys these like wreaths and puts like a candle in the middle. I want to get her a merkin now for her Christmas candle wreath. Those are merkins. Those are candle merkins.
There you go.
My God, you could start a company.
Oh, I was
Like that for
Googling
Candle
it.
merkins.
Very
Also-
American, miss.
I've seen these candles that are like boob candles, you know, like
Ew.
that. Like you could totally do dick candles.
100%. There's
Those
millions of dick candles.
those sell like
Normal
hotcakes,
candles
and
are dick
then-
candles. They're already like
Yeah.
incredibly
This is
phallic.
the
You don't have to
expansion
be
of that
specifically
business, like dick candles and mercenaries for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like you can buy a whole bunch of them, all different kinds of like. If you want to
Oh,
buy
isn't
them
that
with
great?
patterns,
Like for Valentine's Day.
Goodness.
I think that'd be great if it just like called it. Everybody just bought merkins for Valentine's Day. So you'd be like, instead of
Lingerie.
or shaving a heart into your pubes or whatever people do,
Wow.
I don't know. You'd be like,
Wow.
what colors are going to be today? Or the leopard print one.
I want
or-
you. My task for all of you is to go Google Merkin and then look at the images. It's very interesting.
How do you spell
Nice.
merkin?
On it.
With a U
Yeah.
or an E?
MERKIN.
Maybe it could be
Oh.
Word Wednesday. The merkin.
I think that's
There
very
we go.
important actually, because
I think it's
I learned it
necessary at this
today.
point.
Yeah.
Hmm. There we go. See, we
We
all
need to
learned
help
something
our
new.
listeners. Yes.
Okay, I have one more statement and then we're done for the fan.
The fan and the feedback.
follow-up.
We really went
Right.
off track a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's
Sure
okay.
did.
Mhm.
As did. There was one that Lindsay, you put on our book club, and it said it was like from a bookshop, and it said, please note, we've moved a few books around. Travel is now in the fantasy section, sci-fi is current affairs, and epidemiology is in self-help. And one person put brilliant, and another put love this and put a whole bunch of kissy faces.
Aw.
That's fine.
I love bookstore humor so much.
Because it's almost true, which is why it's so
Yes.
funny and it's sad, but it's also true. Almost
I feel like
true.
But it's
travel.
better to laugh about it than cry, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
Seems like travel is not going to be in the fantasy section for long. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I will
It's
go visit
really
Sarah
hard
this
to
year.
travel.
I'm hoping to
You
visit Sarah.
can do it.
We do have an appointment to get international vaccinations,
Hmm.
so that
Yeah, because
if
that's a whole
go-
different thing.
yeah, if we can go, then we'll be all set for all the regional stuff to visit. And even if we can't go this year, which I hope we can, then we'll be all set for next year. So we're all set, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm worried that it's going to make you really sick, though. We'll see.
Considering your last experience.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
itchy.
The hives.
So it's at the pharmacy at the grocery store that I got my booster. And he's like, we have to sit here for 5, and you can't drive for 15. So I was like, okay, I'll just walk around the store. And I was like looking at like the ice cream and trying to decide what flavor I wanted. Like I had nothing else to buy there, right? Like I just went shopping. So, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I'm itching a lot. I was like, oh no, I've got a rash. So I went and he's like, it's a little red, but it might be because you're itching. And then it like starts like here, and the eyelids were itchy, and the ears and the legs, and like just everywhere. It felt like somebody was putting needles underneath my fingernails. Like,
Oh.
I think I'm like, I can still breathe. He gave me some Benadryl. And I was like, I've got an EpiPen at home. I'm not shy about calling 911. I'll just
I love
like, you-
calling 911.
he's like, do you have somebody to take care of you? And I was like, yes, like someone at home. And I was like, yep. So yeah, I was itchy that was on Tuesday. I was itchy until
Ay, ay, ay.
like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm mostly okay now.
I'm
But
still itchy now, but it's only in my crotch.
it may be
Only in my
unrelated.
merkin.
It's just my
Yeah.
it's my poorly fitted merkin.
Poorly fitted.
Which
Oh,
brings
wow.
us back
Aw,
to
Mare.
the Britney Spears picture,
Of
which might have been a merkin related.
Could have been a Merkin-related
Incident.
incident.
It really could have
Absolutely.
been.
No.
full
I-
circle, folks. Full circle.
Mhm.
Just like the Merkin. The male Merkin,
Yeah.
anyway.
The male merkin.
And maybe consider getting
Package.
your loved one a merkin for Valentine's Day.
There you
A
go.
package for their package.
Kind of nice.
Imagine if we looked into like Merkin sponsorship.
I would love that.
Yeah, and we know we made it.
I don't need a Merkin. I can
Yes.
grow my own Merkin with no problem.
Definitely.
Do you get the book interrupted?
For sure.
Book interrupted logo on the on the merkin?
Interrupted.
Yeah.
have.
That could be a side hustle.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. No doubt, yes.
Now I want to know: is there any real hair merkins, or are they all fake hair? Like that's a good.
No, I bet there is.
And then is the hair synthetic or
Oh yeah, but I'm saying I'm sure you could buy real hair merkins.
Ooh, yeah, like fancier. Ooh, I think I want to go synthetic.
I'd want to go synthetic.
I want to donate my own hair to the Merkin cause.
Yeah.
Pubic hair or head hair?
Pubes, obviously. Could you imagine this on somebody's genitals?
I can.
How long does it have to be though? Because when you donate your hair for wigs, it has to be a certain length. If you donate like if you cut
How
your
long
crop,
does it
donate
have
for-
to be?
It's true because there's all the weaving in and the threading.
It's gotta be what 6 or 12 inches if you donate your hair. So like, how long does your pubes have to be?
No problem. There's no length I can't grow my pubes to.
And does it have to be natural or is dyed okay?
Dyed pubic hair?
People do it.
Really?
Yes, people do it.
I bet you there's people use that just for men if they get the,
Or
when
some
they get
people
grays
just
in their
like to do
pubes.
fancy fun colors.
I don't know. I don't think you should put chemicals close to the sensitive areas.
I agree.
Maybe it's just merkins that they're putting on though.
Maybe.
True.
Now that I know, now that I've been enlightened.
New favorite
The
word.
whole fan episode about merkin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So glad we closed on that.
Me too.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Book Interrupted. If you'd like to see the video highlights from this episode, please go to our YouTube channel, Book Interrupted. You can also find our videos on www.bookinterrupted.com.
Have a listen to our off-the-shelf episodes. These are the silly, fun, and weird, wonderful things we do when we get off cue. I think you'll love it, and I know you'll laugh.
Book interrupted.
Never forget, every child matters.